Power is not what you announce, it is what you sustain in silence. And most men never understand this because they are too busy displaying what they do not possess. The noise of weak men and the silence of rare men. Have you noticed? Weak men are always the loudest. They speak of respect, loyalty, discipline, but live none of it. They need you to believe in a strength they themselves do not sustain. They need to be seen. They hear themselves speaking to hide the emptiness. And you? Are you surrounded by men like this? Perhaps at some point you were one of them. The truth cuts. But it is the only cut that separates rare men from common men. The power that lives in silence. Real power does not seek an audience. It does not ask for validation. It lives in silence, in shadow, in the control few cultivate. Weak men mistake noise for authority. They believe volume is command. That threat is dominance, but true power is containment. It is holding the word when impulse demands that you speak. It is keeping the face neutral while others expose themselves. This is masculine mindset, not the loud theater common men imitate. Silence is not absence, it is strategy. It is the invisible blade man with discipline used to observe, calculate, and wait. While others give everything away, you keep. While they reveal positions, you preserve yours. This is the difference between reacting and controlling. The man who speaks too much reveals his weakness. The man who guards himself sustains power because no one knows what he sees, what he weighs, how far he is willing to go. Think of the last men you trusted. How many failed the test of silence? How many rushed to seem important, to gain approval, to feel accepted? Loyalty without silence is betrayal in formation. He who does not sustain his own tongue does not sustain alliances, does not sustain respect, does not sustain honor. True respect is not asked for. It is imposed by presence, by consistency, by the cost you accept to pay to keep your word intact. Weak men beg for respect. Men of silent power simply remain, and the environment adjusts. The absence of noise is the sentence. The silent sign of the traitor is simple. He speaks too much, explains too much, justifies what should not require explanation. Loyal men do not convince. They fulfill, and the weight of action answers for them. How many men around you fail this test every day? The pain that forges or breaks. Pain is inevitable. Weakness is a choice. Most men turn pain into identity. They use the wound as a shield, as an excuse, as an alibi. They repeat what they suffered as if it absolved them. But the cold truth is this: the world does not negotiate with your pain. Masculine wisdom is born when the wound becomes a blade, not when it becomes a repeated story. Men of strategic thinking use pain as data, not as a label. They ask what they learned, not why they were struck. A man bound to pain lives in the past. A man who processes it governs the present. Emotional control is not denying what you feel, it is deciding what to do with it. And this decision marks the border between strength and collapse. Have you seen the man who crossed fire and came out sharper? He did not erase the mark. He forged over it. He burned what was fragile. He kept only what sustained. This is ruthless self-improvement, without applause, without audience, without promise of comfort. Most never cross this point. They choose comfort over consequence, complaint over reconstruction. And so they repeat cycles, the same errors, the same justifications, the same enemies. They wait for external rescue, but the exit never comes from outside. It comes from the silent decision to rise without being seen. Men who break use pain as an excuse. Men who harden use pain as fuel. The difference is brutal. When was the last time you turned pain into an excuse instead of a tool? Invisible strategy and the weight of the word. Strategy does not announce its arrival. It acts when it is already too late to react. Weak men move in the obvious. They think short. They respond by impulse. Men who understand power dynamics see ahead. They provoke reaction. They control the rhythm. When the final move occurs, it seems inevitable because it was built in silence. Silent power is not hiding who you are. It is revealing only what is necessary. Fragile men announce intentions. Strategic men keep intention until action is final. This is cold psychology, thinking without internal noise, deciding without hesitation, acting without asking permission from external judgment. These men exist. They are not the tallest nor the loudest, but when they speak, the space adjusts, because they speak little, and when they speak, there is no return. The word is measured. It is rare, and what is rare carries value. Loyalty follows the same rule. It is not declared, it is proven, in silence, without promise, without stage. The man who announces loyalty has already failed the test. Loyalty reveals itself under pressure when it costs, when no one sees, when there is no visible gain. And even then, you sustain it. The moment to cut someone does not come with warning. It arrives when presence costs more than absence. There is no drama, only a clean withdrawal. Do you recognize the weight of keeping someone by habit when withdrawal would bring order? Consequence, discipline, and legacy. Common men expect fairness. Rare men know the exactness of consequence. The world returns what you plant in the time you do not choose, in the form you do not control. Consequence does not negotiate. It collects. You see the pattern. Those who avoid hard decisions today pay the price tomorrow. Those who choose comfort over discipline wake without structure, without respect, without legacy. They call this fate. But it is accounting. Life responds to the choices you sustained. Male discipline is not empty routine. It is keeping your word when no one is watching. It is sustaining the spine when the surroundings collapse. You do not control what happens. You control who you are when it happens. And this daily choice separates men from adult figures without a spine. Stoic masculinity is not absence of sensation. It is mastery. It is looking at chaos without yielding to chaos. It is feeling weight and remaining upright. Controlled emotion is the border between being consumed and conducting. In the end, what remains is not what you promised. It is what you built. The legacy that does not need your voice to exist. Men of honor and respect do not need to be defended after they are gone. Their life already sustained the sentence. It is not whether you will face consequence, it is how. As someone who chose or as someone dragged by it. This difference is visible. Do you recognize it? The mirror of cold truth. Now face the mirror. How many times did you choose noise over silence? How many times did you wear pain as an excuse? How many times did you speak when you should have kept? How many times did you avoid the necessary cut because keeping the dead seemed easier? Most never ask these questions. That is why they remain common. They react instead of building. They wait instead of acting. But there is an exit, narrow, cold, without applause. It requires only the courage not to turn away from truth, to recognize failure, to correct in silence, without stage, without asking for validation. In the end, no one forges your spine for you. No one pays the cost in your place. Respect is not granted, it is consequence. Either you forge yourself or you yield. There is no middle ground, only choice. And the silent choice, repeated, invisible, defines everything. Stay close. There are more laws in the darkness, more truths that common men avoid. The path does not become light, it becomes clear. And clarity, cold, direct, relentless, is the only beacon that guides rare men.